رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي من أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني ليفقهوا قولي. الله لا إله إلا هو الحي القيوم لا تأخذه سنة ولا نوم له ما في السماوات وما في الأرض من ذا الذي يشفع عنده إلا بإذنه يعلم ما بين أيديهم وما خلفهم ولا يحيطون بشيء من علمه إلا بما شاء وسع كرسيه السماوات والأرض ولا يؤوده حفظهما وهو العلي العظيم. صدق الله العظيم. That's Ayat al-Kursi, and that was my favorite verse ever since I learned it and first heard it in the whole entire Quran. And it was actually a little bit shocking to me to find out that actually the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ said that is the best verse of the whole entire Quran. So wow, I felt it. I felt it because I understand what it's saying. That's one of those verses of Quran. It took me a long time to say it right. It was probably for me the hardest to say right. It it bothered me a lot for that reason. I was like, it was at the time I first learned it. It's probably the longest single surah I learned, and then I just kept being bothered by how hard it is to recite. Nowadays I recite it easily, but that's because I recited it so many times. Because it's one of the most powerful verses in the Quran as well. So a lot of people want to do magic. I'm telling you right now, you don't need magic. Magic is using demons who always break their word and always break the spells. They don't actually do what you want them to do. And then there's God. God gives you everything. He gives you food for nothing. He has, it says so in the Quran that actually if you count the number of things that God had to do in order for you to exist, you will never reach the end of it. In other words, the meaning of that, for anybody who wants to understand it, if you know what infinity is, the number of things God had to do for you to exist are infinite. In other words, it took infinity for you to exist, for humans to exist. So that means, to me, people can bring evidence and talk about this more, but that means to me that you are that great. The whole entire universe is inside your body. That's what a video about from Ibn al-Arabi. He's one of my new favorite scholars in recent times. He has replaced Jalaluddin Rumi, who used to be one of my favorites for so long. And I even named my son after him. And Muslims never name that name. Actually, when I gave my son that name, every Muslim who ever met me said, "What's your son's name?" And I tell him it's Jalaluddin. And even the Indonesian people and everybody, people in India, they all like said, "No, that's bad. That's really bad." And what that reminds me of is the Prophet Muhammad, because when he was born, his father named him Muhammad, and then he told everybody that he named him Muhammad. Nobody had ever been named that before. So, yeah. People told him not to name it, but he was proud of that name because Muhammad means the always praised, the most praised. Like hamd is like thanks or praise. Like you're the best. Oh, you're awesome. Oh, thank you so much. Thank you so much. So that's hamd. So Muhammad is someone that everyone says that to. Everyone says to them, "You are awesome. You did so much for me. You are great. You are this." Da 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 da. Muhammad. That's what Muhammad is. People keep just talking about how great you are, how awesome you are, how nice you are, how kind you are, how law-abiding you are, things like this. If your name is Muhammad, people always thank you. They never find anything to say bad about you. So in the Arabic times, long ago, your name was very, very important. let's say you could get assassinated by people for having certain names that you didn't actually live up to. So, and they gave each other names. There was a name. It was Al Siddiq. So Muhammad was given that name before he was a prophet, Al Siddiq, and then his best friend Abu Bakr was also given that name, Al Siddiq. So Al Siddiq means the truthful. So Muhammad was extremely truthful, so much that they called him the truthful before he was ever known as a prophet. And then his best friend, who is Abu Bakr as Siddiq, and I am descendant from that person. He is also Al Siddiq, Abu Bakr as Siddiq. And that name is not lightweight. Like if you're named that in ancient Arabian times, people call you a Siddiq, and then people catch you lying, telling lies, and your name truthful, they're gonna get pissed. They're gonna kill you. That's how they operated. They operated like gangster war. Like it was tribe versus tribe versus tribe versus tribe. For example, a lot of people don't understand this about the ancient Arabian people and when Islam came. For example, if you were a woman, you could sex anyone in your tribe, but you could never sex anyone outside of the tribe. So, like, a tribe is like 4 block neighborhood, maybe bigger, maybe a whole city. Who knows? But that's how it was. Basically, if a woman from tribe A had sex with a man from tribe B, tribe A would assassinate that woman right away. Um, so that's highly problematic. I think a lot of people don't understand what Muhammad did and how he came. And when he brought in the Quran, he said there is no difference between a white man or a black man or an Asian man or someone from the west from someone from the east, except their good actions. How good are they? So we could say that one is better than that one because he does a lot more better stuff. He gives more charity. He prays. He doesn't steal from people. He is better than that one. So that's we can say that, but actually, according to Islam, like I should never say that about myself. It's recommended never to say that because that leads to arrogance, and arrogance will take you to hell. You're completely rejected by God if you have arrogance. In Arabic, it's called istakbar. Istakbart. So the people can see that in the story of Shaitan with Satan with Adam and Eve. So God told Satan, I've created Adam. He is the best of my creations. And he's going to be the Khalifa on the earth. The Khalifa means the leaders of the earth. And that's what made Satan go crazy because he wanted to be the leader and he wanted to be the best. And he didn't like somebody's better than him, and he doesn't like someone's going to be the leader and he's not going to be the leader. So what happened was he became arrogant. And the key that a lot of Muslims don't see, maybe you have to be a scholar to notice this, but what happened, Satan wouldn't bow down to praise God, bow down to Adam, like for being the best creature, but that's praying to God, not praying to Adam. Keep that in mind. Muslims get confused by that. So he wouldn't bow down to him. He said, "I am," and then God said in the Quran, "Astakbarta ya Iblis, have you become mustakbir?" What does mustakbir mean? Have you become mustakbir, Iblis? Iblis was his name before his name was Satan. Satan is a bad name. That's after he transformed. He became somebody else. Anyway, Satan said to God, "No, I haven't. Istakbart. I haven't become narcissist." That's the best word I like in English for it. I haven't become narcissistic. But istakbart means to have a feeling of greatness. So, to be stuck on a feeling of greatness, like I'm great, like to think like you're God yourself. So Satan said no. In other words, no, I haven't become narcissistic. But I am not the one to bow down to him. But I'm made from fire and he's made from dirt, which is the definition of narcissism. Anybody who doesn't understand. So just from that, psychology is already in the Quran. So people talk about miracles inside the Quran. Narcissism is defined in the first ever story about man. That's key. I think that's key. People don't understand. The first thing we know about what else did Adam and Eve do in heaven before they ate the fruit? The only thing we know they did in heaven is that they ate the fruit that they weren't supposed to eat. But anyway, the first thing we know about the first man is the story of narcissism. And you can do pound narcissist recovery, pound narcissist experience narcissism, all these pounds about narcissism, and tell people this about Islam. Islam starts hating narcissism. It hates it. God hates it. God basically said, as soon as Satan responded, God basically said to Satan, "You are expelled from here. You can't be here anymore." So that's kind of interesting too, that God will not let the narcissist near him, near himself. And then relating to all this, there's this big question I always have: is God a narcissist? Because he kind of acts like a narcissist. God acts like a narcissist. But why wouldn't he be a narcissist? Is all our obedience and worship and all this for narcissism? Wait, because Allah is mustakbir. But it's not the same as narcissism. It's not a disorder as it is for us, because it's real for himself. He doesn't have to pretend he's better than everybody else. He's stronger than everybody else. He's powerful over everybody. It's actually real. So it's not really narcissist, because narcissist believes all those things in falsehood. Like, if I'm a narcissist, I'm better than you, I'm smarter than you. Oh, what? You're the number one at your job? I'm gonna go work over there and be number one next week. That's how narcissists think. And there's more to it. It's hard to understand. A lot of people suffer a lot. They're really good at attracting to people. Let this video be about narcissism. It's interesting. Narcissism is interesting because I can actually say all the OPPs, operations, pound ops. That's how I read it in my post. All the ops that came to attack me all these years were all narcissists, connected to narcissistic people, narcissistic boss, and that's where I come up with the word narcissistic secret societies. Like, people talk about the 1%, the secret societies. They talk about P. Diddy. Why did P. Diddy do what he did? Why is Jay-Z with him? Why is Beyonce with him? Why is all these people with him? Who they say? J-Lo just got arrest warrants. J-Lo evidently has been with him hiding and doing stuff. It's wild. He somehow forced people to be with them against their will. So people have to watch this case. But, like, I look at somebody like P. Diddy, Jay-Z, all these people. I told everybody all the time what it's like to have ESP, because I told people I have ESP. I said, this is what it's like to have ESP. It's a post. People can go read it. I said 10 years ago, I knew that the internet is going to, after it bankrupts most of entertainment, trying to compete with the whole world and everybody at home, and the master entertainers start going bankrupt, Jay-Z's going to jail, P. Diddy's going to jail, R. Kelly's going to jail, Bill Cosby's going to jail. I just knew who they all were, and then the start of that post was like, this is what ESP is like. This is what ESP is like. So all these people that you're seeing right now doing all these crimes, I'm talking about Jay-Z, P. Diddy, Bill Cosby. I've never liked Bill Cosby since I was like 8 years old. And our school teachers loved him so much. I never liked him. I said, there's something up with him. Something evil he's hiding. He's hiding something. I don't know exactly what it is. I think he's tricking those kids. I think he's raping those women. He's doing something. I don't know what he's doing. I just knew he's doing something. I didn't like him. Same thing with P. Diddy. The way he smiles. I can't even copy it. But in the court, they said something about his smile. They said his smile was not caring and loving and all that. It was control. I own you. Everybody said that. In the court cases, everybody who came as a witness said that same sentence. You guys can go watch that court case. See, I study it because I study narcissism. I'm interested in that because, like I said, I recognized P. Diddy as a narcissist like 10 years ago. And then I could see that he's criminalistic. That's what ESP is like. You sense some stuff. Like, how could I know Bill Cosby would end up in jail for doing something really, really bad? I had no idea what it was, but I just knew he was going to end up in jail for something really, really bad. And I kept trying to guess what it was, and I was like, is he molesting the kids that he does the videos for the pudding with? He's touching people in the show. He's doing something. He's doing something illegal. And then it comes out. And then R. Kelly, I knew about him too. I already didn't like him, but then I actually met one of his ex-girlfriends, who was the girlfriend of one of my old best friends, named Hans. And she told me all about him and all the stuff he used to do. And I was like, yep, I already knew that. But thanks for telling me. Thanks for giving me the evidence. Now I know what's really going on. I know something about what's really happening in the world. She was his girlfriend in high school before he was famous. And she had nothing but bad stuff to say about him. Because I used to joke with her. I said, why did you leave? Why did you ever get together with Hans? You're a pretty lady. You could have got anybody. And she was like, well, I had R. Kelly. But I let him go. And she told me all about it. And how he was a bad person. Anyway. I just made this video to talk about whatever. Not really want to talk about nothing, but there was a radio show talking about people's life in America and discrimination, racism, and stuff like that, and like being prejudged or whatever. Like, let's say you're a Democrat and you go work at a place where everybody's Republican. How does that affect everything? So, but then the whole time I was listening, I was like, what if you're like an Arab-looking Muslim guy like me with a beard? And then you work in America, which is like stuck into Islamophobia for so many decades. How is that? And I don't know, but like I didn't want to call just because of this thought. I have the worst, most depressing story of anybody who's ever gonna call on this radio station. I don't want to do this. I don't want to do it. I don't want to call. So then when I make these videos, because there's nobody here, it's a phone. So what would I say to the phone? Well, it's gonna be eventually told to everybody, but you already know before it even starts. It's one of the most depressing ones. I think people who like try to study my story and learn about it would cry about stuff. I did meet with one of my old best friends after like probably more than 30 years of not talking. Well, not like hanging out as friends. I used to go visit him like once a year, once every 2 years. I knew where he worked, so I could just stop by. I would do that. But I didn't hang out with him because he got into gangs. Because he stayed in the hood. My parents moved us out of the hood. Because we grew up in the projects. And he ended up in gangs, ended up doing crimes. But then he changed, and he became working in police stations. It's kind of weird how, like, you're a gangster for 30 years. People are killing you, you're killing them, all kinds of stuff. And now you work for the police. That's weird. To me, it's weird. But it's standard. It actually happens a lot. And people just decide that that way of life is not the right way. This is the best way. So they change. They just change up. But the weird thing is, when he came around after 30 years, it was right after the divorce of my ex, who was a $10 billion operation to try to steal all of fractal gear field theory and try to get me end up humiliated and dead. In other words, like, after I die, all you ever know about me is that I'm a piece of crap, that I'm a horrible person. She wants you to believe that I did bad things to her as a husband, but actually, I've been named almost by everybody who's ever witnessed our lives as the best father and the best husband. They just, yeah, everybody, all the teachers, all the doctors, everybody names me the best father and the best husband. But her whole plan, the whole objective of that, her whole thing, is he's the worst father and the worst husband. He's evil, he's violent, he's this, he's that. This is the Islamophobic mess that we're in. This is just part of it. I'm not even going to go into the rest of it, the start of it, till it got to this. I'm not going to go there. Her whole objective was for me to fall down dead. And then everybody in the world has a bad opinion of me. And that was the whole objective of all the op attacks for the past 20 years. And so I gave it a name. I called it Kala. C-A-L-A. So, character and life assassination. Sometimes instead of assassination, I say attack. Character and life attack. It's actually character and life assassination. So they want to, like, destroy your character and destroy your life. So, in other words, so over 15 years, I've been studying it. I got all the evidence. It's not just made up stuff. I got all the evidence. I know who did it. I know who paid them. I know how much they got paid. All that crazy stuff. It's sad to even say it. It makes me sound crazy just to say those numbers. They're crazy high. And then I gotta fight to just not cry about what happened. I feel like that's why I drink coffee so much. I just want to escape my mind. Like, if I just put my mind on the coffee, whatever was in my mind, gone. I had something that made me sad. I don't even remember what it is. All I remember now is coffee. But anyway, yeah, I got, from all this effect, I got too much sadness. And I figured that out from a lot of my videos. I've developed a lot of sadness. And then the other thing I figured out is the reason why I succeeded while everybody who did what I did, brought what I brought, ended up dead, ended up with all their stuff stolen, ended up, you don't know who they are, like Nikola Tesla. Nikola Tesla knew it. So he had fractal gears, but he got it from James Clerk Maxwell, and they were called vorticular gears. And James Clerk Maxwell said they were not real. But I believe Nikola Tesla said maybe they are real. Let's pretend they're real and see what we can build and happen. And then he figured out they were real, and he did a lot of stuff. And so that's what fractal gear field theory actually completes all of Nikola Tesla's stuff. Like, you want, like, I've showed how to send to create free wireless energy, free anti-gravity crafts, anti-gravity cities, nuclear fusion, travel anywhere in space. Because if you got anti-gravity, you can go anywhere in space. Because what people don't understand about anti-gravity is, if you fly an anti-gravity craft, you can go near the speed of light. You can accelerate from 0 to half the speed of light in less than a second. And anybody who knows physics and mechanics and knows engineering is like, that's impossible. That would kill you. Well, no, not with anti-gravity, because anti-gravity cancels out the inertial forces. It cancels, like, there's no inertial force that, so, like, for people who don't understand, let's say here's the car and you're inside it and it accelerates. Like, the idea is you can accelerate it fast enough that it would break your neck off, it break your body, destroy your organs, and then 0 to half of light speed in less than a second is like based on the physics we know now that would kill anybody. But with anti-gravity, it doesn't kill you. You can do that. With anti-gravity, you can be like boop, 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 boop. You can see the anti-gravity crafts up in the air, and you can see them how they move. Like they move in a way that you look at it, you're like, if there's a creature in there, there's no way they could live through that. What kind of creature is living in there? Is that a robot? Is that an AI? What's going on? Well, it's an anti-gravity craft, so yeah, a creature can be in there and it can do that. So anyway, there's a lot of stuff that has come out from fractal gear field theory. Nuclear fusion has come out. Free 0-point energy. So there's a guy in Africa now. He made a thing the size of a fridge that powers the whole of New York. Then he also took that technology and put it in like a little thing like this big, and then puts it in your car, your electric car, and then your electric car is always fully charged all the time. And then not only that, when you park by the house and your battery's always fully charged, you get free power for your house, and it never runs out. So he created free energy. So free energy is real. So, but the problem with free energy is like most of the videos online about free energy are made up. They're scams, and a lot of them are actually operations to suppress the idea and knowledge of real free energy. So if there's like one free energy video out there that actually shows you how to do it, the method of doing it, what they'll do is create 10,000 fake ones that look a lot like it. So you get confused. You're like, oh, that's fake. He had a wire. Oh, he messed with the camera. He did this. That's fake. That's fake. That's fake. But that's part of the whole process. Like the real stuff, the real free energy, I did this. I took these fractal gears here, and I had a friend. The video is out there. It's the name of the video is the best free wire, the best free energy mechanism, or the world's best free energy device. And then it got so many thumbs down. Nobody liked it because I didn't follow the scam techniques. I gave you real science. I'm giving you real science that you analyze it correctly as I explain in the description. You understand what you're seeing. So there's a bunch of these. I should even have this around just so I could show it all the time. There's a bunch of these in there, and it's like a fractal wheel. And then so there's one of these in the middle, and then there's like three. There's like a row of two here, a row of two here, a row of two here. So 3 rows of 2, 2, 2. So then this locks in the middle, but it's able to like move and maneuver wherever it wants to go. So then this thing here was actually small. It was really small, like the size of the tip of my thumb. So there was a bunch of small ones, and then I should bring it and rotate it. But I'm actually afraid to rotate it because that experiment, when I rotated it, it affected the sound speaker. It affected the microphone. So I had a friend rotate it. He just did it this fast, and it was made out of aluminum. And then I videoed it. So I made the video, and I was kind of far away so I could see it really good. And then after I played it, and I always use awesome headsets because I listen to a lot of raps and stuff. So I listened to it, and I can hear the change in the sound wave. I think what most people don't understand what that means. They don't understand what that means. What that means is using a magnetic piece, doing like this. Not magnetic. I'm sorry. Aluminum. It's aluminum, so it's not magnetic. It's all aluminum, and doing like this, and it's affecting the magnets on the voice receivers on the phone. That's what's making that sound. The device is changing the magnetic field. See, that's what people don't get. I think you have to just like know enough about physics to understand what you're watching. So People get tricked by free energy stuff all the time, even though I give them the best one. Here's the best one right here. And here's the evidence. This is why it's the best one. Do you understand this? And nobody understands it. And I think I got mostly, I would say 90% dislikes. 90% dislikes. And I think it could have been ops who did try to do that to try to make other people dislike it. That's what I'm saying. That's what people don't get about how stuff gets suppressed. They're like, oh my God, he showed everybody how to do it. What can we do? Send 10,000 people to go dislike it right now. Make it the most disliked video ever. Then everybody will just look at it and be like, this is super disliked. Everybody knows it's fake. It's not real. I think people don't understand how the internet... See, I was supposed to be Mark Zuckerberg. I was supposed to create that. Like, I was actually building it. Maybe it is actually my creation already. Like, we were on what's called bulletin boards. It took me like 20 years to remember the name of that place. Bulletin boards. That's what they were called. Bulletin boards are like, you dial up and connect online and you're on the server, and then we try to send pictures and videos or whatever, and it was super hard. It was like almost impossible. Nobody knew how to do it. And if you knew how to do it, you were like Superman of hackers. You were like, oh my God, he knows how to send videos and full quality pics over the computer phone. What the? Oh, heck no. And we'd go nuts over that. We'd go crazy. Because like back then, you wanted games so bad. They were hard to get. And people didn't know how to copy games. But you could, like, if you figured it out, you could send it over the internet. Here, have this game. You want Quake? I got Quake. I got this game. I got that game. And then we could just send it to each other. Boom, 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 boom. I was like, oh my God, I got a free flying game. How to fly and stuff. And look, the graphics are really awesome. Where did this come from? Who made this? I didn't even know this existed. I didn't know graphics like this and games like this existed. Like, what? It's possible a hacker in the system actually built the game and put it out, like one of the open source games we have today. But it was just in the bulletin board system. That's what it was called. It was called the bulletin board. And you just dialed up to it. It had a phone number. And once you got on there, it was like a Facebook. So everybody was chatting and talking. So I know a lot about what happens on the internet stuff, how people play games, the stuff they do. So I had somebody send me a bunch of money for fractal gear field theory stuff. And it's a lot. So like I spent my whole life poor, really poor because of this fractal gear stuff, really just struggling just to survive. And now God has brought people on my side who have given me just donations and made me a multimillionaire after being starving for past 2 decades. Literally starving, physically, mentally, everything. Like, people don't understand my kind of starvation. Like I could actually say, people ask, like, have you been married? Have you been married? I can actually say no. No, I've never been married. The reason why I can say that is because all 3 times I tried, they were all just setups to get to America. Like, that lady doesn't really like you. She just wants to come here. She's going to leave you. Sometimes they would leave me, like, attempted marriage totally failed before it happened. She was already trying to find somebody else, using the fact that American guy came all the way overseas and wanted to marry me. That means I'm super special. So, like, a lot of guys are like, what? Who is that? Who is she? And so she was using me to find somebody better. So she's engaged to me to marry me, and then that was the first one. Then the second one, I was like, I married her in Egypt, and I was like, I'm just gonna stay here for a while and figure out how to work here. And I was thinking of starting a business, doing this and that. And what I was really gonna do is mine Bitcoins in like 2011 or 2012, which was the time to do it. Back then, you could, for $1, you could get 100 Bitcoins. If she would just listen to me, we had enough to go buy 20,000 bitcoins. So like we'd have 20,000 bitcoins right now. But instead, it's like everything is wrong. Why would you want to stay in Egypt? What's wrong with America? I said, well, Egypt has solar energy, and solar power is awesome for generating cryptocurrency. For crypto mining, you need solar power. That's where all your money is. It's in the free energy. Because you need tons of energy to generate cryptocurrency. So, anyway, she just can't see the plan. The plan was excellent. I found one guy, only one guy, and I remember I called him. One guy who was actually mining Bitcoin. And this is still funny to this day to me. And back then it was like a penny per Bitcoin. And he was complaining. He's like, I'm gonna quit this. I've been doing it 3 years, and I only get like 1 Bitcoin every day. And like they're only worth a penny. So 365 days in a year, he makes 365 pennies, which is $3.65. But he spent like $1,000 in electricity to get that, right? But wait, bro, you would have had 400 bitcoins per year. I told him don't quit. I begged him not to quit. I said don't quit. Believe me. I wish I could meet him to this day. Maybe he'll say I listened to you. I didn't quit. I didn't sell those stupid bitcoins, and now I'm super rich. I wish to meet him one day and him say, "Oh, that was you who called me?" I was like, "Yeah, I'm the one who told you don't sell that. Don't quit. You're doing good." So that's what I would have did in Egypt. But I had a wife who she just wants to use me to get rich, and she only can think that America has the rich. Only America has the rich. She couldn't think. Even I tried to tell her about fractal gear field theory. She thought that was a joke too. Now she doesn't know that it's worth like her own country almost got sold to try to steal it from me and take it from me. So like the reality is when my family tried to assassinate me at the tried to do the Kala at the end of 2023, they did it for Israel and their allies, and that kicked off the Gaza stuff. I don't even want to say what it is. I don't want to say Gaza war, Gaza G, Gaza this. I don't want to say what it is. Everybody knows what it is. But that's what started the Gaza stuff. So basically, my family trying to kill me to steal all the inventions around fractal gear field theory for the lowest amount ever, which was only $21 million. Because they thought they could do it in like 3 months. That would have basically sold the whole entire Middle East and the world. The whole entire world. To the West. To basically Israel and allies. Who's working with Israel? Like the 109 countries that tried to kick them all out before? Is that who's working with them now? That is who's working with them now. Because the Israeli people have been kicked out of 109 countries. There's only 180 countries in the world. Well, there's 180 languages. There isn't even 180 countries. It's less. It's less than that. So, almost every single country in the world threw Jews out. Like, you can't live here. You can't live here. And that's sad for me to talk about because I descended from Israeli people, Jewish people. So we experienced that. I experienced that myself. So my ancestors experienced that. And I come from Egypt. I'm Egyptian. Actually, that's where most of the Jews lived, and we were Jews. We're actually more Semite than anybody in Israel. We're more closer to what they call Israelis than anybody in Israel. Most of the Arabic people are more Semite than anybody in Israel. So that's kind of ironic because that would make if Israel keeps trying to like get rid of all the Arab peoples, all of them, and make all of the Middle East into Israel, they're the most anti-Semitic people. Israel is the most anti-Semitic people because their main enemies are more Semitic than themselves. So, like, that's the weird thing about Israel. They keep throwing this word anti-Semitism, anti-Semitism, anti-Semitism. But the facts show that Israel is the most anti-Semitic peoples. And we're not even going to include the fact that 70% of Israel, this has already been proven in psychoanalysis studies, 70% of Israel does not believe in God, does not believe in the Torah, does not believe in the rabbis, and thinks the religion is a joke. That's 70%. They are the number 2 most highest atheist nation. And the number 1 most highest atheist nation is China at 90% atheist. Only 10% of people in China actually believe in God. And that's kind of strange. What that really means is the only people who really believe in God in China are the Muslims. Because there's more than 10% of China that are Muslim. And, like, I can honestly say, like, Islam clearly tells you have to believe in God. You can't disbelieve in him or you'll go to hell. So, yeah, basically, everybody who believes in God in China is basically Muslim. So, like, all the Buddhist people, it's just a club. They don't really believe in God. Just like the Israeli people, they go to they go to synagogue, they go to rabbi, they go to this, but they don't believe in God, they don't believe in the synagogue, they don't believe in the rabbi. It's just like they believe in Israel. They believe in the culture, the race, and that adds a whole new dimension to that religion. Has that religion become racist? Has Judaism become a racist religion? And that's hard to say because we don't know what the real religion of people in Israel really is. We already know most of them, the majority of them, do not believe in God or the Torah. And this is like hard for Christian people because Christian people are all motivated to support Israel because they believe in God, they're God's people, they're God's religion, but no. That's not true. Because it's simple to prove why that's not true. So simple. Because God is so smart. He's so smart. Like, this is how to prove it. I'll tell you really simply and you can figure it out yourself. What was the religion of Jesus according to the Bible? Here's the Bible. Tell me what was the name of Jesus' religion? Nobody knows. They say it's not written. We don't know. You don't know. Okay. Let's talk about Moses. What was the name of Moses' religion? Did he call himself a Jew? What did he call himself? They don't know. Nobody knows. Then you look at Islam. What was the religion of Muhammad? Islam. What was the religion of Jesus? Islam. What was the religion of Moses? Islam. What about Abraham? The Quran says that in a special way. It says, ما كان إبراهيم يهوديا ولا نصرانيا ولكن كان حنيفا مسلما. It says, Abraham was not a Jew or a Christian. He was a righteous Muslim man. Righteous is key there because anybody could be Muslim or say that they're Muslim. They have the faith of it, but they don't practice it. They don't do what they're supposed to do. So Hanifan Musliman means a righteous, right standing Muslim. In other words, he's operating correctly. He's doing what he's supposed to do. He's following all the rules. That's what Hanifan Musliman means. ما كان إبراهيم يهوديا ولا نصرانيا ولكن كان حنيفا مسلما. But that's for me that's proof that Islam is really the book of God. Because God could not bring a book and miss the most important part. What's the name of our religion? What is the name of it? I'm talking to a girl right now. We're like trying to hook up to get married, and she keeps trying to give our love a name. I'm like, oh, what? You want to name a love? Anyway, bye bye. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Happy Juma Mubarak, Ramadan, Eid Mubarak as well. Eid al-Adha just passed. Some people are celebrating it this weekend. So, bye bye.